Why do people want to be interesting? A pretty easy question, I guess. Just take one popular YouTuber or even your colleague that has a lot of stories and really knows how to tell them. Don't you see that in perspective? They're relatively more successful than others in that field. Why? Maybe you've heard it or not, but we live in the era of information. And almost every big company fights for your attention. Take a look at Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, Facebook, YouTube, and any other social media platforms. They really want you to consume more and more of their product by making it understandable, easier to use, and overall more interesting and exciting. Content creators also want to get the biggest piece of the pie, trying to create catchy thumbnails, better editing, and so on and so on. And usually, the informational value of their videos and posts falls down. Well, tell me, why are MrBeast videos are so successful? Well, besides of his really huge commitments and all of that, it is because he managed to make them catchy, exciting, and most of all, interesting. Maybe by this moment you would think that being interesting only lets you control and manipulate people and it can only be used to harm. But my answer is not at all. Let's see how you can benefit from being interesting in your financial and personal life without being a joke to others. Imagine that you're at the dinner party at some household and you recognize a really successful investor and entrepreneur. You decide to come up to them because you have a business idea, maybe you want to get a business partner or just financing. So, pitching requires itself pretty good storytelling skills, but even before that, you should give the first impression, because you just can't pitch or even start the conversation on business topic right after. You're at the dinner party, well, if you haven't forgot yet. So, at the beginning, you should talk pretty distant from investing, finances, and so on, and later, smoothly switch to what you need. But you have to hold an entire conversation before that, so, and don't let the person get bored. And in this video, you will see the complete guide to being interesting, receiving the best information, and networking with the best people. If you want to support the creation of this really valuable content, then don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Shoom, and here we go. The first thing from which I won't tire of repeating is body language. Well, we will part this one pretty quickly, don't worry. The most important here is posture. Just push your shoulders back, don't hunch, and try to be natural. Like, not that excess, like, I don't know, like a lobster. Hands. Well, try to use them while talking, like, just be a bit fidgety but not much. It will make you seem more friendly and open. Well, legs. Well, nothing much, feet on the shoulder width, so you stand firmly and you look confident. But what about the face? Well, the simplest you should do is show your confidence, or at least don't show your cowardice. Smile if it is appropriate, and maybe if you want to check, just look at the mirror, fix some details, and you're good to go. The second point in our guide is speech. By picking the right words, you may get the different attitude from people. If you speak like a primary schooler as a grown-up, then people will think that you're dumb. If you speak like a king from 17th century, then people will still think that you're dumb. Well, it was a pretty bad example, but still, I think you got it. It all boils down to being well versed in the specific vocabulary of a field that you're talking about. Well, if you're talking about finances with a person that's really good at it, Like, maybe that same entrepreneur, so you should know what revenue is, gross income, ROI, margin, lifetime value, CPA, B2B, B2C, etc., etc. By showing your kinds of competence in that field, or at least being familiar with the terms, your interlocutor understands with whom he's talking and probably starts to respect you more, and therefore gets more interested in you. Now we go on to the third, which is closely connected to the previous one, and it is voice. A bunch of experiments were made which all concluded that with the depth of your voice increasing, people start to take your words more seriously. So if you're at some kind of casual meeting, then you can actually make your voice just a bit higher just for sure. But I recommend you to talk confidently and deeply, though not angrily. Not literally want to hear such tone addressed to them, but if you do everything correctly, then it really shows people how serious you are with words and what your intentions really are. If you want to get a deal, they will know that you want to get a deal. Now, it is the time for your personal life. We're going to talk about hobbies or any other things that you're interested in. Maybe you like tennis, hiking, reading, whatever. But if we look at all of this differently, we can see a powerful leverage there. There are three core benefits. The first, that your hobby can be a really great conversation starter. The second, excelling in your hobby and entering the highest circles of fans can open you some doors, though it depends on the prospects of specific hobbies. More on it later. And third, it can develop your soft skills such as communication and leadership. Let's say that you are interested in that same tennis. Bill Gates also likes playing tennis, so there's a probability that you can start a good conversation with Bill Gates somewhere at a tennis enjoyer's dinner party, though maybe you're a fan of beer pong. Well, I don't know a lot of people who enjoy beer pong, especially among the successful ones. So, as you can see, some hobbies are not that valuable. They're not as good leverage as tennis. So, well, maybe you've got this. I know that this example can be pretty blunt, but still, you got the point, right? And the fifth and the last point for this video, your experiences and stories. Have you expected to be interesting without living your life? I believe that this part of improving your interestingness is the most exciting. Stack up your stories like towers. Get in a fight, close a $1 million deal, get arrested in Thailand, and so on and so on and so on. Well, maybe this thing is not an actual trick, but at least it is a call to action. Simply by living an exciting life, you become more and more interesting, and actually, it is kind of proportional. As you get more interesting, you get more opportunities, and therefore, by using them, you get even more interesting. Although, it requires defeating your doubts and cowardice, but always remember that dealing with your fear is worth it. I'm really grateful that you watched this guide to the end. I want to say that I believe in you, love you, and see you soon. Bye.